Guys, we haven't recorded since last year.
Oh.
I haven't seen you guys since last year. Wait, hold on. Let me take another run at it. Hello, and welcome to another episode of Midlight Crisis, a real podcast hosted by three grown-up biologists revisiting books from our teens, and it's totally cool. I am one of your hosts, Sophie, and I have a randomly generated bird with a superpower
Nice.
for today.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I went into that running, and I think I almost nailed it. Maybe by next time.
Yeah, for sure.
I'll have gotten it for sure.
We just have to be able to say it without giggling is the problem.
Well, because
that's hard.
Yeah, I was listening to our last episode and I was like, wow, wait, I need to also say that I'm not this bird. I'm 98% human, but I'm 2% this bird. You know?
Yes. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's even more complicated. One day I'll get it.
Oh, for sure.
So
by the time we're ready to move on to the next book, we'll have it down.
By the time we do that biology episode, I'm going to be so good at it. Anyway, the bird that I am 2% mixed with is a cosmic energy waterfall kookaburra.
Wow, that's so much.
That is a mouthful.
There's a lot happening there. Say it again.
Oh my.
So much happening. A cosmic energy waterfall kookaburra. You know.
Wow.
Like in the old gum tree.
Just casual.
So is waterfall modifying kookaburra, or is cosmic energy modifying the waterfall in this case?
I think it's a waterfall kookaburra.
Yeah.
That has the power of cosmic energy, whatever that means.
Whatever that means.
Whatever that means.
Sure.
I think this kookaburra is a god.
Might be.
I think that's what it is. This omnipotent waterfall kookaburra.
Eating everything it can see? Uh-oh.
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 And this is how the universe ends. Anyway.
Not with a bang or a whimper, but with a laugh.
That laugh, yeah.
With a laugh.
Aw. That weirdly made me feel better.
Yeah.
I find it kind of menacing, but
yeah, it is kind of weird.
That's okay.
Anyway, who and what are you guys?
My who is Sam, and my what is a self-detonation avocado emu.
What?
Wow. I love that one.
Self-detonating avocado emu?
Yeah.
Wow. That's amazing.
That's really good.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm a fan.
Wow. I know in theory it's like an emu that probably eats avocados, but I am imagining like a green emu now.
I'm imagining
Oh, yeah.
a regular emu that spontaneously bursts in half and it comes apart like an avocado and there's
What?
a pit in the middle.
There we go,
You know-
there we go.
You know avocados just don't spontaneously fall in half, right?
Yeah, but that's the self-detonation part.
Right,
Yeah.
sure.
Listen.
Yep.
Accurate.
Yep. Yeah, why not? Anyway, tell us about yourself.
Yeah, my name is Hannah, and 2% of me today is a big disaster ptarmigan. I almost said it without laughing. A big disaster ptarmigan.
Wait, what's the superpower? A big
The
disaster?
superpower is big.
It's big.
Big.
The superpower is big.
Touche.
Oh, I see. Okay, so it's not that the ptarmigan is a big disaster. The ptarmigan is a normal disaster, but is physically big.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Or the ptarmigan
Chill.
is normal and there's a big disaster, like, around.
Yeah, that's a superpower for sure. I make big
Definitely.
disasters.
I make big disasters.
Wow, incredible.
Funny.
Oh,
It's a good one, eh?
wonderful. That is
I
a
like that
Yeah.
one.
Wow, good batch of birds right here.
Good batch of birds.
Yeah.
Good flock we got.
Hey.
Anyway, the reason we are 2% bird is because we're reading Maximum Ride. The Angel Experiment by James Patterson. And as always, we have read 4 chapters. So if you guys want to tell us what happened, that would be great.
Cool. So, chapters 9 and 10 are under me. So, chapter 9 starts with the flock returning. I don't know why I did that. I know, it's very weird. I told you guys, my brain is a mess.
It's fine, keep going.
I was gonna let it slide.
Chapter 9 starts with the flock returning to the house and basically all freaking out that Angel has been kidnapped. Max is blaming herself because she's the leader, but remember, she's only a 14-year-old for crying out loud. The kids converse, Fang makes some ravioli, and they all conclude that Angel has been taken back to the school. I can hear Hannah giggling.
Sorry.
I think makes is a stretch.
Makes it,
Sorry, he opens a can of ravioli.
I don't think he even heats it up.
He doesn't!
He eats it with a fork.
He eats it!
I mean, we've all been there. Come on.
No, we haven't.
I cannot stand canned Chef Boyardee ravioli. It makes me sick.
I like it, but I heat it up first.
Anyways, this then goes into chapter 10.
Mm-hmm. You can do it, Sam. I believe in you.
Come on, Sam, you're not the big disaster. You got this.
Oh, okay. This then goes into chapter 10, where everyone is freaking out about the school. And then we find out Iggy is blind, since the school tried to surgically enhance his night vision and failed. Fang then pulls out some yellow old papers, which turns out one of them is a map to the school, which resides in California somewhere. And so, there's that. Hannah?
Wow.
All right, so the single page that is chapter 11 begins with the Gasman, Nudge, and Iggy all reacting to the idea of going to the school to rescue Angel. Iggy is adamantly not on board with this plan, right up until the point that Max says he and the Gasman aren't coming, and then Iggy is immediately indignant about being left behind.
Yeah.
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 Max says that she doesn't want Iggy to come because his blindness is a liability, which is kind of like, ooh. And that she doesn't want Gazzy coming because he's 8. And what she says goes, because this isn't a democracy, this is a Maxocracy. And thus ends part 1 of this book. So chapter 12 is the beginning of part 2 of this book, which is entitled Hotel California, sort of.
Why is this book like this?
It's so
14 years old.
It's so 14 years old.
14 years old.
Yeah. Max, Fang, and Nudge are flying south-southwest towards Death Valley, California. Where the school is. Max and Fang have a bit of a banter, and Nudge muses that in Jeb's Left Behind documents, she saw something that has her real name, which is Monique, and also mentions a town in Arizona. She hopes that maybe her family is there and they can go see them. Max tries to cut this line of thinking off, but has the feeling, perhaps foreshadow, that it's going to come up again later. And that's that.
Would think that. Anyway.
Whomst among us?
I have notes from like the first 4 words of this first chapter.
Okay. Start us off, Sophie.
Yeah. So chapter 9 starts with Max saying, I don't even remember flying home, which is because she's distraught, obviously, because Angel has been kidnapped. But all I could think was like, maybe Hannah doesn't do this yet. But when you're driving and you're taking a route you know really well and you just like blank and then you're like, oh, I'm home. And I was imagining someone flying while doing that, just like dead eye staring, flying vertically, like through the air, following a path that they've followed a billion times. And it's just like, oh God, it's possessed. Anyway.
I like that mental image.
That's where I went with that.
That's extremely funny.
Well, because birds can sleep while they fly, guys.
Wow.
Wait, actually?
Really?
Yeah. So baby Max just fell asleep, had a little nap.
Like all birds, or are there specific examples in nature?
Specific birds. Like the big one are frigate birds, which don't land for like months at a time. I think it's like 2 months they stay aloft because they can't swim or float. So
But
even
they're
though
seabirds.
but they're seabirds. So they fly over the ocean for like 2 months at a time and are just like, well, guess I'll die. No.
Wow.
But also I looked it up. There's this bird called the alpine swift, which I guess must be a swift, which are like teeny tiny birds
Uh-huh.
that spent 200 days in the
Whoa.
air consecutively.
Whoa.
Yeah.
How did they collect that data? Like, how do they know that?
I assume it's with a, like, because they have those little tracker backpacks that
Yeah.
can track
Yeah.
altitude
Yeah.
in birds. And so I'm assuming it's just like, well, it was in this area and it never dropped below
Wow.
like a certain altitude,
That's really interesting.
which is wild. Yeah. Frigate birds specifically do the thing that I think, is this fake, that sharks or dolphins do it? Is this an urban legend that where they sleep with half their brain at a time?
And no, cetaceans all do that.
Okay.
Good. I'm so glad we
Yeah,
have a
that's a
cetacean
fact.
expert here, because I was going to be
Thank
like,
you.
yes.
I was like, that
Maybe.
seems like something that might be an urban legend.
Yeah.
No, that's a real thing.
Okay.
Well, because otherwise they drown.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, so frigate birds sleep for 45 minutes total,
Ugh.
like during a day
Ugh.
when they're
So
aloft,
little.
and only in 10-second bursts.
What?
Yeah, like they did this study on some frigate birds that nest in the Galapagos Islands. So a lot of the animals are just like don't care about humans. So it's pretty easy to like catch them and with very low stress like put an EEG on them. So like yeah, this study showed that when they're in flight, they sleep for 45 minutes at a time, 10-second intervals. And then on land though, they'll sleep for like a minute at a time for a total of 12 hours. So very different. And frigate
Wow.
birds only sleep while circling up, like an updraft.
That
They
makes
won't
sense.
sleep while gliding down.
Yeah, no, that seems like a
Yeah.
quick way to die.
Yeah.
The thought of like having to fall asleep while like actively going up in altitude is
Yeah.
terrifying.
I'm assuming you just like tilt your wings so you're always going in a circle and you're just like, all right, spiral up and up and up. Good night.
They must be able to like lock their joints into place.
Yeah.
But do
Yeah.
they have
Huh.
any like airborne predators, like bigger birds, or are they the biggest birds?
Frigate birds are dicks.
I don't know. I actually know nothing.
No, that's interesting because like that's what they think. That's why they think they only sleep with half their brain at a time.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because of predators?
Well, so most animals that do it because they have predators. Frigate
Yeah.
birds don't have predators in the
Okay.
sky, but they could crash into each other.
Okay, so there is like
So-
potential, collision
Yeah.
source or predator. Well, no predator, but there is like something that, like, they can't just completely zone out.
Yeah, so it is only half their brain at a time
Okay,
when in the sky.
That's wild.
Yeah,
It's
fun.
fascinating.
Yeah. Yeah, interesting.
I
Yeah.
had no idea.
So maybe that's what Max was doing, or maybe not, because
Yeah,
humans can't
maybe
do
she
that.
just spaced. No.
No,
But
Can you
maybe her
imagine
2%
taking-
bird.
In 10-second bursts?
right?
Ugh. Sometimes I feel like I'm doing that when I'm in a particularly boring meeting, to be fair.
Or when I'm having
mean,
a
wait, no.
particularly bad night.
My boss listens to this podcast. I don't do that. That was a joke.
I was gonna say, you're bold having your boss listen to this and admit stuff like that.
For legal reasons.
For legal reasons. No.
For legal reasons, this is a joke.
Yeah. Anyway, that was my fun bird fact. The first
love
one
that. Fun
of
bird
many, probably.
Oh,
No, who knows?
who knows? It's Sophie. There's going to be more bird facts, whether we want them or not.
Always.
I feel like there was kind of and maybe this is just me being a total sap, but Max has the moment when she's like losing her shit, everyone else is losing their shit, like the kids are hurt, Angel is missing, and she just wishes there was a grown-up to take care of them.
Yeah.
These poor
Yeah.
kids. Like, I also wish you had a grown-up to take care of you. That
Yeah.
sucks. And then Gasman like tries to reassure her when he sees she's upset, and it's like,
Yeah. And like while she's losing her shit, she like is still bandaging up
Yeah.
the kids while she's doing it. It's like,
Uh.
aw,
She's so responsible.
this family that has found each other. Wow.
Wow. I love it when they do that.
I love it when they do that. Yeah, it's definitely funny reading this, like these kinds of books again as an adult. When I was 14 and reading this book, I was like, I didn't really pay attention to that because I was like, yeah, I'm 14 and cool. I could be cool like them, independent. And then now I'm like, they need an adult.
They need an adult so bad.
You need an adult so bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have like no maternal instinct in real life, but whenever there's a piece of media like this book or like the new Spider-Man movies got me, where it's like, oh, there is a child and no adult is helping them and they are like desperately in need of help. I'm like, somebody help this child.
Okay, well, to be fair, in real life, you probably aren't faced with like abandoned children in danger all the time.
Not frequently, no.
So maybe the instincts would kick in then.
Yeah. That's a good point. Mostly I'm just like, there's a child staring at me in the grocery store. I wish it wouldn't do that. I'm uncomfortable.
Yeah. I mean, I get very stressed when I see a child and I can't immediately pinpoint where the parent is. Like,
oh my god,
what?
yeah.
Who? What? Am I responsible for this child now?
Yeah.
What's going
Children
on?
and dogs. If there's a dog wandering down the sidewalk, I'm like, who? What?
What?
You don't know that you shouldn't run into the road. Like, where is your person? And then half the time they're like 2 blocks behind with their dog off leash because that's an okay thing to do.
Yeah, for sure.
Anyway, I'm getting off the rails already. We just started.
Arguably, we're 20 minutes in. We're not too bad.
We're doing great.
We still have 3 more chapters to go. Okay.
Yeah. I don't know. Okay, I had to look up. I was like, is this 2006 slang that I didn't remember? Max describes what happened with Angel was the rescue mission had been such a total ditcher. And I was like, what is a ditcher?
What is that?
What's a ditcher? Is this cool alternate universe slang? My standby is going to Urban Dictionary.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Urban Dictionary couldn't help me. A ditcher was just someone who ditches their friends all the time.
Yeah, that checks.
But I did get like 3 pages in and it was like a ditcher when you're talking to someone on MSN and they just sign out or ignore you for a large period of time without saying G2G.
Oh,
dang.
And I'm like,
yeah.
I'm like, it still is not what this meaning is, but I relate to that.
Yeah, it's still temporally appropriate.
Yeah.
I think MSN was a Canadian thing.
Was it?
Well, yeah, because I think AOL was
had
the US equivalent.
Or wasn't there AIM? It was like AIM.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, AIM. Yeah. I've heard of that.
Yeah.
So I can only speak to the Canadian experience, but brutal.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a rough one.
No BRB. How could you? Anyway, those are my 2 opinions on this chapter.
Yeah.
Yeah, I only have one additional opinion, which is that Nudge, like, makes the very good point that given the Erasers are super buff and had guns, they could very easily have killed anybody, including Angel, like, on the scene.
Yeah.
But instead they took Angel and didn't seem to care either way whether the other 5 kids were alive or dead.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, they came after Angel specifically.
Yeah.
Because she's special.
So that's interesting. Because she's special.
She's special.
So special.
So special.
I mean, I don't think they were trying to kill the other kids.
No,
right?
they could have. All of the other kids were unconscious at one point. If they wanted them to be dead, they would be dead.
Exactly.
I feel
Great
like
point,
they,
Nudge.
at some point, probably want them all back because they want to exploit all of them for their powers for the evil military that I'm assuming this is part of.
Yeah.
But like for now, they're like, just let them think they've gotten away, and then we'll catch them later.
Yeah, they're probably trying to draw them in by kidnapping Angel. Maybe. Like make them come back under their own power.
Yeah. I mean, not to also get into the later chapters that we read, but I feel like that was also Jeb's idea to
Yes.
leave those
Seems-
documents.
To leave an extremely convenient map back to the school. Yeah,
Mm.
Well,
probably.
even like leaving information about their possible birth parents or genetic
Yeah,
parents,
genetic
like
parents. Yeah,
to be like, at least we know where they might go and can
Yeah.
watch for them.
true. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, wait, I did have one more thought about the end of this chapter, and it was
Okay.
when they were like, well, they didn't take Angel to China. We know where they took her. And Iggy's like, where's that?
Uh-huh.
Yep.
Fang
And then
Max were
Fang
like,
and Max in unison.
yeah, are like, the school,
School.
you know?
Yeah,
That
obviously.
place.
And then the beginning of the next chapter, Nudge gasped. It's like, did everyone not expect that answer?
Yeah.
It's like the one place. What?
Well, they are kids. They just
They are
didn't
kids.
think about it.
But
It's like the
Yeah.
erasers are from the school.
Yeah. we do get in the second chapter when they're talking about the school confirmation that it has been 4 years since they left. Which I don't
Right.
know if we had that exact number.
I don't think so.
I don't think
I
so.
don't think so. So that
Yeah.
I back calculated the ages
Whoa.
of the kids when they left the school. So
Okay.
I took their current ages and subtracted 4. It was really intense.
That's some good math right there.
I almost needed Sam's help, but I didn't want to pay her. Anyway, so that means when they escaped with Jeb, Max, Fang, and Iggy were 10. Nudge was 7. Gasman was 4, and Angel was 2.
Damn.
Wow.
So that's young
Oh,
for all of them.
I just had the worst. You know how some birds are born like cute and other birds are born horrible?
Hideous, yeah.
Sophie.
I mean, they're
We're going
definitely
ugly
born
duckling.
hideous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like altricial or precocial are the two official terms. Precocial is when they're born cute,
Okay.
fully formed birds, and altricial is when they look like horrible goblin creatures.
Oh
Yeah.
my
Now
god.
Now I'm imagining. Oh, I guess.
Okay, they definitely were that, though, because Max explicitly described baby Angel as having tiny
wings?
chicken wings, which is
Oh,
not
that's
something you
terrible.
call a cute little bird.
No, and
horrible.
Angel, we think, is the only one who was born as a bird kid, right? So I guess the other
Yeah.
ones had to be normal human
Probably.
babies.
Yeah, and again, jumping ahead, but the kids don't know if they have, like, actual normal human parents.
Right.
Max says that, like, we don't know if we were test tube babies or what,
Yeah.
but we know, I guess.
Yeah. Well, also that's cool. Like in this
Yeah.
world, they've invented how to make babies
Yeah.
just in a
In
lab.
test tube.
In a test tube.
Wow.
They just did that with was it a sheep? And the last, like, year or two, they grew a sheep embryo in an artificial womb. So we're
Whoa.
catching up to 2005.
But like one day we'll be there. The other dimensions get all the coolest stuff. But they grew it from like a sperm and an egg, right?
Yeah. Yeah, presumably these guys came from some genetic material.
Well, yeah, because that's sort of what I was like. The way Max is being like, well, we don't know if they're your parents. We might have just been test tube babies. I'm like just made whole cloth, like without gametes. Are you kidding me? Anyway, maybe
I was
reading
thinking
too
like
far into
sperm
that.
and egg donors who are just
Okay.
like, here are my gametes, do with them what you will.
Yeah.
But who knows?
Instead of scientists being like, okay, we'll put the A here, the T there, the G.
Oh my
See.
god.
Making the
God.
DNA.
Just making
Piece
some
by
DNA.
piece.
All
Oh
I just
my
had
God.
a thought of was like a scientist doing that and listening to an audiobook and then like fucking something up because they've zoned out. Because
Like-
as a scientist who does like monotonous work sometimes, oops.
I thought you were implying that they were like spelling the words that they were hearing.
Oh, that would be funny too, but there's not enough letters because you just have A, C, T, and G, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was just like
Uh,
thinking of like the scientists at their computer with their headphones in, like listening to some podcast or music or something, and they're just like, And then all of a sudden they've messed up the genome and now this kid has a tail because you were listening to an audio book.
You made a lungfish child again.
Oh,
How does this
God damn it.
always
how dare
happen?
I?
It's estivating. Anyway.
Like any good fetus does.
Exactly.
Well, actually.
Yeah, like, kind of.
Actually. They also talk about how Iggy became blind
Yeah.
because they tried to surgically enhance his night vision.
Yeah, that's a bummer.
That's a bummer. I looked up if it's possible to
What
give
did you
humans
look
night
up?
vision.
Okay.
You know, like, people do research. Surely,
Yeah, it's true.
surely someone was like, let's try and give humans night vision. As with everything, it's been done in mice. But there's probably an article out there being like, how you can get night vision.
Yeah.
And then it's just talking about a scientific paper that was on mice and not humans. Classic move. Apparently, so night vision works on near infrared light. I think that's what it is. Anyway, I wrote down the shorthand and I forgot what it stands for. Near infrared light, which humans can't see, but they can inject these nanoparticles
Ooh.
into your eyeball.
I hate
And by
that.
I mean mice. That converts that light into like higher energy green light.
Oh.
So we can actually see it. And I mean, the mice were able to navigate in the dark using it. But again, it's only for near infrared light, not everything, which is just like heat signatures kind of. But yeah, that was cool.
And was that something that they could do in a post-embryonic stage? I guess it's not genetic manipulation, yeah.
Yeah, that was an adult mouse, and it only it only lasted like 10 weeks. And according to this, one study, it was like no side effects, but that's just one.
But hard to say with a mouse.
Hard to say with a mouse. So that doesn't sound like what they did to Iggy. I just found it and wanted to talk about it, you know?
Yeah. It sounds like what they might have been trying to do, but permanently.
Yeah.
And then they did it in the wrong direction.
Yeah, because otherwise they might just have to give him a tapetum lucidum or whatever. And then that's...
We talked about that in Twilight, but I can't remember. What is
the
it?
Glowy thing when
the glowy bit,
shine a light in like a cat's face.
Oh,
right.
Yes.
And it just reflects light more. Like, so when there's really low light, it just reflects more light around inside your eye.
Right.
So you can see stuff better. So that's probably what they were trying to do, but I didn't look that up. So
yeah.
I don't think that's anything anyone's trying to do, really.
I thought there was an interesting bit of dialogue in this chapter where Fang says, Jeb knew they would do anything to get us back, them being the school. If anyone ever discovered what they did to us, it would be the end of the school. Nudge says, why don't we tell on them then? We could go to a TV station and tell everyone and say, look, they grew wings on us and we were just little kids. And then Iggy says, that would fix them, but we'd end up in a zoo.
Yeah.
Which, like, that's... maybe.
Iggy, I don't think that's how it works, actually.
No, but to be fair to him, all he knows about how the world works is what Jeb would have taught him, which...
Yeah, that's such a good point.
Yeah, but it's interesting that, like, what am I trying to say? This sequence was interesting to me, and that it's like, nobody knows we exist, because in this universe, it is also completely morally incorrect to have done what was done to us.
Yeah.
But they can't go to the TV stations about it because of the zoo.
Yeah, it's like so weird, like, because this sort of situation exists in books a lot, you know, where it's like, wow, it's this secret, super rich part of the military or a super rich corporation doing secret research on humans. And it's like, well,
yeah, does that happen? Like, I guess I wouldn't know if that happens.
Yeah, I mean, like, I think objectively it does happen, but I don't know that it's like secret. You know,
it's
like,
just if you have enough money, you can make anything go away.
Yeah, like, I think it's just that, like, people who should know better ignore it on purpose, you know?
Yeah.
And so maybe that's what's happening here, but I don't know.
How did they get groceries?
How did the can of ravioli come into existence?
Maybe they hide their wings under clothes.
Well, so far it's just non-perishables, you know? Like maybe they just
That's
bought like a
true.
bazillion cans of ravioli.
Yeah.
And they've been living off of
Maybe.
it.
Didn't they make like breakfast?
Oh yeah.
Mm.
Maybe
Anyway.
they lay eggs.
Maybe they lay eggs.
Stop! No! I am putting my foot down. That was awful.
I kind of want to keep talking about it though.
That was my least favorite thing that's ever been said on this podcast.
But we had Team Dry.
Yeah, exactly.
This is
No,
worse than
this is
Team Dry.
worse. Yeah.
Now
Dang.
it's payback time.
Oh my god.
Okay, we definitely won't bring it up again later.
Yes, you will.
No.
We'll forget, let's be honest.
Yeah, that's fair. Well, yeah, like, okay, sort of related to that, they're talking about how, like, ooh, there's mouse poop on these secret documents. It smells gross. And I'm like, you're so much bird, though, and raptor bird. Shouldn't you actually kind of want to eat mice?
Yeah, probably.
Like,
Probably.
Maybe they're just conditioned not to want to.
yeah, maybe. Because this begs the question of, like, do they have human guts?
Yeah,
Do they
I
have
think so,
omnivore
because they
guts?
eat
Yeah.
pulled ravioli from a can with a fork.
But,
Oof.
like, would they have the ability to eat raw meat, you know?
Yeah,
Oh,
interesting.
interesting.
Yeah.
that. Yeah, I'm curious now.
Guess we'll find out.
I'm imagining them like flying to Death Valley or whatever, because they do say again in the later chapter that they need to stop and eat. And I'm assuming that that means they're gonna like pull granola bars out of their backpacks. But I'm
Yeah.
now imagining Max being like, "Okay, everybody, time for dinner," and they all just like pounce on some
Converge.
like on a
gazelle.
squirrel.
Wait, gazelles. Wrong book.
Gazelles. They're in Aragon now.
Oh no.
They've become dragons.
Yeah. You just see them like their head like twitching every direction like an owl and they just like
Yeah.
jump on a mouse. Feet
The thing
first.
turns his head around 180 degrees.
Yeah. Hilarious.
Wow.
And not disturbing at all.
No, very fun. It goes really well with the mental image that
Yeah.
you brought up at the very beginning.
I'm done.
Sam's like, bye. First eggs, now this. I'm out.
The body just like dangling from their wings.
Yeah.
While the head like
Yay.
twitches around. Oh, that's so funny.
Awful.
Imagine seeing that, I would shit my pants.
Yeah, this is quickly turning into like cosmic horror.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's move on to the next chapter. Unless
Yeah.
you guys had more to say.
The main thing that I really like about this chapter is, I think, rediscovering why, like, 13-year-old me really liked Iggy, because he is so contrary. He's like, I don't want to go on this plan. And Max is like, okay, because you're not going. And he's like, wait, no. Now I
Hold
want to
on.
go. It's like, oh, so he just rebels against whatever
Yeah.
he's being told to do. Like, I can relate to that. That makes me sound like an actual rebellious person. I'm not. I just don't like it when people tell me what to do.
Emotionally rebellious.
Emotionally rebellious.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like the whole you guys can't come with us is just to drive them apart
Yeah.
for plot,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. I feel like the plot is going to have something to say about this.
Yeah.
And like, Max's reasoning is very pragmatic,
Yeah.
but it is a little bit icky.
Yeah.
For her to be like, you can't come because you're blind and it'll slow us down. And it's like,
Yeah.
ugh.
Like, I honestly, I mean, I guess this is just very in my 30s of me, but I don't really see how bringing an 11-year-old over bringing an 8-year-old
Yeah.
is helpful. You know, like, Gasman can't come, but Nudge can,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. No, that's not that helpful.
I mean, they're definitely going to come after them, right?
Yeah. They're either
Yeah.
going to come after them, or I feel like there is a very, very tiny, like, plot gnome in the back of my head that's like, the erasers come back and get them.
Oh.
from the house, but I don't know if that's real.
That does sound familiar.
Right? Like,
It's tickling something in my brain.
yeah, it's also tickling my brain.
Yeah.
Uncomfy.
But we'll find out.
Because I feel like it's either that or Max, Fang, and Nudge get caught.
Yeah.
But then
Yeah.
because Iggy and the gas man were following them, they
Oh,
break them
yeah.
out, you know? I
Yeah,
feel like
that's
it's one
also...
both of those sound plausible.
They do. Equally so, I would say.
Yeah. What's important about this chapter, to me personally, is that it gave me math to do.
Yeah, it
And
did.
then
It did.
immediately in the next chapter, it revealed that it was just going to give me the math, which was disappointing.
Did the math match up? Did you do the math?
More or less. Kind of.
Kind of?
I mean, okay, so they say the school is 600 miles away, which is a 7-hour flight, not including breaks. So that is literally how fast they can fly
Yeah.
in miles per hour. And so that gives 85 miles per hour.
That
And then
seems really fast.
That seems extremely fast.
That is 136 kilometers per
Oh
hour.
my god. Right, I forgot we were doing miles per hour. That's so fast. What the
That's
hell?
so
way
fast.
too fast.
That's way too fast.
And so in the next chapter, they say, oh, we're going 90 miles per hour. And if we get a good tailwind, we could add 20 miles an hour to our speed, which is 110 miles per hour, which is 177 kilometers an hour.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous. And that's a sustained speed. That's not like
That's
a sprint speed.
A sustained speed for 7 hours, or at least 2 hours.
Oh my god.
They fly for 2 hours unbroken.
They're faster than Edward Cullen.
I was going to say,
Oh,
so
no.
vampires, well, no. They're not.
Oh no?
Okay, well, hold on.
I thought the vampires could only... Oh, but the Jeep Wrangler was modified.
The Jeep Wrangler was modified. I refuse to go back and double check this, but I opened the biology episode notes I had for the vampire episodes, and it said vampires can go 67 meters per second, which sounds right. I'm not going back to check my other notes.
Yeah.
And that was 241 kilometers per hour.
So okay, so that's faster.
That's faster.
Yeah, that is faster.
And
that is
I think
faster.
that maybe is the maximum speed of a Jeep Wrangler. I don't remember.
Yeah, I think it was.
Jeep Wrangler.
A modified Jeep Wrangler.
And then just for fun, in case you've forgotten, dragons go 39 kilometers per hour.
Very slow.
Very slow. So
Very
Edward
slow.
Cullen is still the fastest.
Okay.
Maximum Ride is second, and Saphira's last.
Saphira's way back there.
Saphira's way back there.
Oh, bless
But
her.
yeah, like birds don't usually maintain a like average horizontal speed that high.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's very fast birds that do a sprint or like a dive, like the peregrine falcon, which is the fastest bird, but it's only because of the dive, which brings it to 389 kilometers an hour.
Whew.
Yeah.
So that's faster than Edward Cullen.
That is. But like sustained, their average speed is like 90 kilometers an hour. And maximum horizontal speed is 110 kilometers an hour. So there are faster, like maximum horizontal speed birds, like the Saker falcon is faster, as is the white-throated needletail.
Oh, wow. That sounds fast.
At 169 kilometers an hour.
Yeah, it is fast.
Max is still faster than them.
Wow. I mean, she's very large.
Yeah, and all of that is, this is the worst. All of that is the maximum speed that they can go. Not their average sustained speed.
So why are these bird kids so fast?
Yeah.
They're not very aerodynamic.
They're really not.
Military.
But
they're not like juiced up, are they? They're just genetically modified. They're not like on steroids.
Yeah, but they could be like modified to just have like the muscles to sustain that kind of speed right away.
Yeah.
Right? Because it would make sense if it's military and they're being trained for like, I don't know, stealth sky aerial operatives. I would assume that they've been also modified to have the muscles to sustain being quick. So
yeah.
I don't know.
And to fight a little bit, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe they're being designed to be spies,
Yeah.
so need to travel
Yeah.
long distances.
So like maybe they're like their proportions are more similar to like an airplane, as weird as that might be.
They got
Like,
jet engines on the
Boeing
back.
737.
No, go on.
Yeah.
Boeing, yeah.
They're 2.5 giraffes tall.
2.5 giraffes long.
But it would make more sense that, yes, they're bird, but the scientists were probably like, oh, but we want the speed of a plane or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, it does say that Nudge, who is 11, well, I guess talking about all of them, they're all particularly tall and thin for their ages.
Yeah.
And then Max, like, specifically mentions Nudge is 11 years old and she's 60 pounds because of her strong, light bird bones,
Mm-hmm.
which is about 20 pounds lighter than, like, an average Canadian 11-year-old girl,
Yeah.
who would also be 4'9", so, like, the same height as Sophie.
Hey!
Hey.
That's not even funny.
Height.
Your average height. Nudge is above average, but we don't know exactly how tall she is.
Yeah.
But she's below average weight, above average height. So they
Yeah.
are modified to be something. I don't know how being tall and skinny is helpful for aerodynamics, unless they
Yeah.
fly horizontally somehow.
Yeah. I mean, like, it could be that maybe we've been assuming raptors because they talk about raptors a lot.
Yeah.
But, like, raptors aren't made for, like, speed long distance.
Mm-hmm.
But other kinds of birds are. So maybe it's just that they have different proportions, more similar to, like, a swift or something.
But what, like, I accept your premise, but what does that look like on a human?
Great.
Like, what are more aerodynamic proportions on a human?
Yeah. It would mean the, like, shape of the wing is different. So, like, a 13-foot wing of, like, a wing that's more designed for speed than maneuverability,
Mm-hmm.
you know, would get, like, more power out of it, you know?
Okay.
Yeah.
Because we know Max's wing, like, length, but we don't know how wide they are or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, anyway, maybe one day. Since they've just given me the math, like, I don't have anything else to do, so maybe I guess I'm gonna have to figure out the wing loading instead.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Thanks.
I looked at a map to see the distance between the I can't speak Spanish. Sangre de Cristo mountain range, which is in Colorado, where their home is, and Death Valley in California, where the school is. And if they take a direct line, or if they take a road, they have to go directly over or through Las Vegas, which is just very funny to me. I feel like it probably won't come up at all, but
I
like,
think they go through Las Vegas.
Do they really?
I think so.
This sounds familiar too. It's again
pretty
tickling
sure-
something in my brain.
I'm pretty sure there's a part where they go through, like, a really big city.
Yeah.
Must be
I
Vegas.
think you're right.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But they're like birds. They see the lights and they're like, oh my god, we gotta go
Like,
there.
oh my, yeah.
Hit a
It's
window.
like, wow, fly into the window of Caesar's Palace or whatever the hotel is called.
Yeah.
Just bonk.
But because they're flying with their human bodies vertical, though, they won't break their necks.
Yeah, they'll break their ribs.
They'll just
Their
do one of those,
pelvises?
like, comical
the
human
splat.
imprints against
Yeah.
the window.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, "Ugh," and then
Just
fall.
Uh-huh.
Why is there a comical human outline
Outprint?
on the 40th floor of this hotel?
Weird.
Vegas,
baby, what happens?
Mhm.
You can't talk about it outside of Vegas, so it's okay.
So no one will know about the bird kids anyway.
No one will know. Yeah.
You can just walk down the street.
Yeah.
We've kind of moved into the last chapter.
Yeah, there wasn't that
Yeah.
much. No.
What
It's
I
fine.
love about this chapter is that Fang has dark wings
Yes.
and Nudge has tawny russet wings.
Uh-huh.
Anyway.
Of course, Fang has dark wings.
Oh my god.
Gotta.
Did you see in the forget which chapter was it? Was it the first chapter where where Fang was darkly silent. What does that mean?
Oh my god.
How do you be darkly silent? Please explain. James Patterson?
Yeah.
What is this?
I assume that this is like you've got dark hair with those bangs and you're just hiding half your face behind it and you're just silent and have a sad
But his wife,
face
for
on.
sure.
Oh yeah.
But his wings are dark and his hair is dark and his soul is dark.
Oh, but
because, quote, Fang is never happy.
but he's pale as anything.
Pale as
Total
anything.
white boy.
Yeah, not as pale as Iggy, who got startled in one of the earlier chapters and got even paler if that was possible.
Oh yes.
But I think he's ginger, so that makes sense.
Oh yeah.
And Fang, friggin', what the hell? Fang is such an edgelord.
He's such an edgelord.
He's never
Although, like-
happy. He's strong and silent. He has dark wings. Like, shut up.
Although, Fang, like objectively, of every character that's ever been in a YA novel, Fang has like the least choice over what he looks like of any of them.
Yeah.
He's been genetically modified to be an edgelord. They're like, let's give this one depression.
Oh my god. You know, I had written down a couple of birds and I was like, maybe this is what Fang is, because they're black and so is his feathers. But if we're trying to make someone as edgy as possible, he's probably a raven, huh?
Yeah.
That's the edgiest bird.
I was gonna say
I had
vulture.
turkey vulture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they're actually sweet. So
Aww.
Yeah. They look edgy.
yeah, they
Or
look
it could
edgy,
be the common blackhawk,
though. Yep.
which is black.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
That's
That's
great.
all. Yeah, but Fang has dark wings that glint faintly purple. And I was like, ooh, purple birds. And I was like, here are a bunch of song and hummingbirds. And I was like, okay, not those.
Yeah. Well, I wonder if I don't know the answer to this. If it's just that whatever is controlling the color of their hair is controlling
Oh,
right, you know,
yeah.
does it control all integument?
All
I
of their
don't know.
colors. Yeah,
Yeah.
that would make sense, though.
I don't know
Yeah,
how
'cause
that works in
Angel-
birds.
Angel's blonde and has white wings, doesn't she?
That sounds right.
Does
I
Iggy
don't know
have
if it's confirmed, but
Does Iggy have orange
bright
wings?
Well, Angel would have like neon yellow ones.
Neon
then.
yellow.
Yeah. Subtle.
Yeah, well, and Nudge has dark hair and like brownish wings. I don't
Yeah. No, it's Tawny Russet.
know, which is brownish.
No, Tawny Russet.
it's
It's
Hey.
different.
Okay. Jeez.
That's the name of the bird species.
What's the name?
She has.
The name of the bird, the tawny russet.
the Tawny Russet bird.
If you told me there was a bird called the tawny russet, I would believe you.
Yeah, there's probably like
I
a
would
butterfly
too.
called that. Honestly.
Yeah. Yeah, I was about to say birds have wild names, but then you mentioned butterflies, and oh my god.
Way more wild.
Just bonkers.
Just bonkers.
Freshwater shellfish also have pretty bonkers names I've discovered recently.
Oh, I was gonna ask about the Atlantic mud piddock.
No, that's a
That's
marine one,
marine.
but that one is also pretty crazy name. You say that and people are like,
Huh?
okay.
What?
Is that an axe?
Yeah.
Nope. It's a tiny clam.
I mean, there's also that frog that's called a mountain chicken.
That's so unhelpful.
What?
Yeah, I don't think it
Why
even
do
lives
they do
in the
that?
mountains.
Jail.
Anyway,
Jail to whoever named this frog.
Jail to scientists.
Go to science jail.
Science jail for 1 million years.
It's a lab
Anyway.
with no equipment.
Yeah. Wow. Or just the wrong equipment.
It's the wrong equipment.
It's all broken, and
all
Leica
bro-
won't
yeah.
answer your calls.
Okay, now we're getting too personal.
I mean, anybody. Could be anybody.
Could be anybody. Oh my god, you guys, did you see
What?
that flying burns a lot of energy? So could you perhaps say that even for bird kids, flying is
Oh.
energetically expensive? And they need to eat
Oh,
to regain
no.
the energy?
We've
I'm going to be insufferable.
full circle. And
Full
by
circle.
circle, I mean It's just
It's-
more.
Yeah, it's just like a straight line from what we were doing before.
Yeah. I didn't even think of that.
Oh, I thought of it immediately. I almost went to our chat to crow at you. Pun not intended. But then I was
Sure.
like, I should save it for the episode.
Save it for the podcast.
Save it for the podcast. Let everyone be aware.
Yeah.
Canonical.
Canonical, energetically expensive. Yeah, I have questions.
Yeah.
I'm assuming they probably need to just eat more often, but do they only need to eat more often when they're flying? Or
Right?
just all the time?
I would probably assume their metabolisms are higher, so probably all
Yeah.
the time. But
Yeah.
they're probably sufficiently malnourished if all they're eating is canned ravioli.
Yeah.
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 I'm just saying.
Well,
I'm not
I
going to get over the ravioli. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, if they're more meat centric, then maybe they're doing just
Fair.
fine on just ravioli.
Yeah. Someone get these kids some beef jerky.
Yeah.
We need the insights into the genetic makeup of their digestive tracts.
Yeah. What is your
So.
digestive phenotype? That's a weird thing to say to a person.
Uh-huh.
Do you have the proper enzymes to appropriately break down raw meat? Do you require the use of vegetables to gain energy?
I recently downloaded a dating app, and I'm gonna save that one as my my opener.
Do you
Hello.
have digestive enzymes to break down raw meat?
Yes.
Yeah. Listen,
That
I'm
might-
gonna.
That might be
Have-
taken the wrong way.
Oh no,
Oh no.
I don't want to
I'm
be
just
digested.
warning you.
I don't
No,
even
that's
know what that
not-
means, but I'm sure there's something dirty in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think it's vor, which is what you were implying. I don't think that's what everyone's gonna think.
Yeah, I don't. Let's move on from this hole that I have dug myself. Hey, did you see that Nudge has a name that's not Nudge?
Yeah.
And her name is Monique?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Uh-huh. Yeah, for sure. Definitely. Do we think they okay. Because clearly they picked all their own names,
Yeah.
but I don't think they called them those names at the school. Like, I think they called them by numbers or whatever.
By numbers? Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
That's pretty classic.
Yeah. So I don't know why they wouldn't want to, like, if they know those names.
Yeah. Yeah, like how do they know their original names, I guess?
Yeah.
Parentally assigned names? Like
Yeah,
would Jeb have told them?
Maybe.
But why?
But why?
Maybe it was a way for them to go into hiding. Like, if they were actually to, like, interact with the public or something.
Oh.
then,
By
like-
calling themselves the Gas Man and Nudge?
I didn't
Extremely
say it was
subtle.
good. I did not say it was good, but it's not Monique.
But, like, is Iggy his real
Yeah,
name?
like Iggy seems like a real
Um,
name. I'm pretty sure Max's real name or birth name or whatever is Max.
Is Max, yeah. Fang,
I don't know.
Surely that's his
surely.
birth name. Yeah, for sure. Definitely.
I mean, if Angel was born in the school, then she's probably only ever been Angel.
Yeah.
Somebody tell me what poor Gas Man's name is so we can call
Yeah.
him literally anything else.
Literally anything else, please.
Anything else?
Yeah. Big questions.
Big questions. Also, an interesting thing that I noticed was every other specific geographical location that was mentioned in these chapters is a real place. Tipisco,
Oh.
Arizona does not seem to exist.
Oh.
Or if it does, I can't find any information about it in the slightest.
Interesting. I think they it's mentioned, so it's the smoking gun. Obviously they go there at some point.
They're gonna go
But-
there at some point for sure, yeah.
But yeah, probably because they go there. They're like, not real.
But like, they could go to a real place.
Yeah, that went really well for Forks.
Listen,
Oh,
Forks has a booming tourist industry.
Uh-huh.
no.
They seem happy about it too.
Oh,
No.
yeah. For
No.
sure.
Anyway.
Forks is
Anyway.
scary.
Oh, Oh god, I accidentally zoomed into an extremely small town in Nevada on this map.
No.
Hello, Caliente, Nevada.
Get out.
They
Oh,
have
you
an
still
RV
can.
park and a Family Dollar.
What more do you need? Is that everything we had to say about these chapters?
I don't have anything.
Yeah, that's fine.
Did you have something, Hannah?
You can go.
Oh, the only other thing I wrote down was that Max gets annoyed that her hair is coming out of a braid in the wind.
Oh, yeah.
And, like, as a person with, like, straight, fine hair that does not stay in a braid in the wind, like, I feel that so hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, same.
Oh, yeah. I
That's
feel
all.
like the same vibe as when I was scuba diving a lot and I just
Yeah.
cut my hair super short and it was like,
Just get all of this out of here.
incredible.
I just started wearing a hood every time I dove, because then I can just shove all of my hair in and not under the hood.
Okay,
It's
picture
fine.
this. You don't have to shove your hair into the hood. It's just already there
I mean, that also
when you
sounds
put
nice.
the hood on. Every part of it was great. Amazing. Anyway,
Anyway, that's all.
that's a vibe. I agree with Max.
This time, we have to make sure we don't forget.
Oh, yeah. I was about to forget. Let's guess
Last
what
time-
happens.
Last time, we just, all three of us completely forgot that there's a whole segment of our podcast where we guess what happens next. None of us flagged it until far after the fact.
It's
We're
like this
idiots.
podcast where we've done 60 episodes.
We've been doing this for 2 years.
Yeah, wild.
Oh my
Okay, so
God.
I think the thing we decided on is I would read the first sentence and you guys
Oh,
would
yes.
try and guess.
Okay.
So, chapter 13 begins with, her mouth was so dry.
Oh no. It's
Like
probably because she's
Edward.
flying. Yeah, no.
She's thirsty.
They're flying.
It's
Mhm.
probably Max.
Yeah. She's just
Cool,
I
she's
think
flying.
they're just flying. Yeah.
They're just flying. They're gonna stop for lunch
Yeah.
Chill.
and eat either granola bars or squirrels.
Squirrels.
Oh.
Squirrel.
That's the way it's said.
That's
Okay. Chapter 14 begins with Max.
Oh,
is
question
this
mark?
an okay?
Someone's waking her up.
Yeah, or maybe they found either Angel or
Not that
Iggy and the
fast.
Gas Man somehow.
I'm assuming the chapters are like 2 pages max, so there's no way they already
Oh,
got
yeah.
to California.
That's a good point.
13 is 3/4 of a page.
Oh
Yeah,
my god.
Exactly.
14 is one
Okay,
page.
so it's Nudge waking up Max.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Good guess.
Or maybe it's Fang waking up Max to have a little late night chat without
A
Nudge
little
there.
banter session. Yeah.
Ooh.
But
Just-
would Fang use his words, or would he just like grunt moodily and like
Or would Max just wake up
nudge
and see
her.
him walking away, and be like, ooh, I better
yeah.
follow him.
wow, yeah, Fang, he's so mysterious.
So mysterious. Okay, chapter 15. Let's throw all their stuff into the canyon.
I feel like they found the school. They're outside the school and they're plotting how they're gonna like take
Yeah.
down the school.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There's like some guards or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Great guess. One more chapter? Yeah.
I think so.
chapter
Yeah.
16.
Yeah.
Angel knew she couldn't go on like this much longer.
Oh, an Angel POV.
Yeah. I'm guessing we're gonna get the insight into what's going on with her at the school.
I don't want to get into Angel's head. I feel like I won't like it there.
Yeah, I feel like it's not a
Um,
good place.
She's creepy.
Maybe the fact that chapter 16 is an Angel POV. Anyone
Oh.
want to take new guesses for previous chapters or anything? No, it's
As-
okay.
Is that the one where her mouth was dry because she's in a cage?
Oh.
Or maybe some other character POVs.
Oh, multiple character POVs?
Oh, I wasn't expecting that.
Is- Yeah. Is it all Angel POVs? Oh, wait. I bet one of them is Iggy and or Gasman, where they're throwing stuff into the canyon.
Hell yeah.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
Anyway,
Oh,
that was
okay, yeah.
cheating, but
Okay, this makes sense.
I just was like, wow, wrong for every chapter.
That's
Did you already
fair.
read the chapters? I guess you kind of have to if you read the first line. The
I
rest is all
read
just there.
whatever was on the first line. I kind of couldn't avoid it. Anyway,
Yeah.
great guesses,
Wow.
everyone.
Great guesses.
Proud of you.
So we might not get any Max POVs?
I think one of them is.
Maybe one. Wow.
Yeah.
Multiple POVs. That's exciting.
Yeah.
Good for us.
Great. Let's talk about what else we're reading. It's been a while.
Yeah. Should we do like honorable mentions from the last 3 months?
Yeah, I just honorable mentions from the end of last year. The 100th book I read,
Ooh.
wow, was Beneath the Rising by Premi Mohammed, which was the beginning of the Beneath the Rising series, which is like cosmic horror.
Oh.
Very far outside my normal wheelhouse.
I was gonna say, not really your brand, but okay.
Yeah, it was good though. I liked it a lot. It was like, it's like cosmic horror kind of monstery. So a big fan of that. And then the other shout out I want to give from last year was A Lady for a Duke by Alexis Hall.
Oh,
So good. It was so good. Just nailed the historical romance genre. Amazing. And then the only book I have read this year so far is Love on the Brain by Allie Hazelwood, which is the second? Same genre as The Love Hypothesis.
Some would argue it's the same book, but different.
Some would argue it's the same book. And I did not care.
Me neither.
It was really cute. I liked it a lot.
Me too.
Yeah. Anyway, that's what I've read.
Well, that leads nicely into me because Love on the Brain was one of my honorable mentions from the last little bit. I've read way too many books to give a full list here. So my other honorable mentions are Babel by R.F. Kuang. I think everyone needs to read this book. It's very important. And then Alone with You in the Ether by Olive Blake. Also incredible. Absolutely amazing. But what I'm currently reading is Vengeful by V.E. Schwab, which is the second book in the Villain series, which the first book was Vicious, which was our January Midlight Book Club book of the month. And then I'm reading The Atlas Six, also by Olive Blake. This is her more popular book. This is all over TikTok. I'm going to see it's worth the hype. Yeah. We shall see.
Are you reading the newer version? Like the traditionally published version?
Yeah, so the story behind this is I bought the self-published version because it was going like crazy. So I got it self-published because I was like, oh, I want to read this book. And then it got traditionally published, but I was like, oh, it's fine. Like, I heard it wasn't that different. But then the second one came out and the author was like, okay, if you're going to do a reread, like, do not reread the first self-published version. Like, there are structural differences. And I was like, are you kidding me? So I used an Audible credit and I got the audiobook. So I'm listening to the audiobook of the traditional published version of it.
Okay.
I'm not reading it physically. So there's that. And then on audiobooks, I'm also listening to I'm Glad My Mom Died by Jeanette McCurdy, which is like a memoir that's been everywhere. Like, I think everyone's heard about this one. And it's, about a child star and her relationship with her mother. And the memoir through that. And lastly, in ebook format, I am reading Leviathan Wakes, which is the first book in the Expanse series by James S.A. Corey. This is a sci-fi space opera. They've made a show about it on Amazon Prime, I think, or one of the streaming services. Who the frig knows now which one? But I'm reading that with my boyfriend so that we can watch the show. So... That's my very extensive list. I do apologize.
Yeah, I'll also try to keep mine swift.
Mine is not swift.
Mine is never swift. Okay, so honorable mentions for me were Invisible Women, Data Bias in a World Designed for Men by Caroline Criado Perez. Extremely good. Definitely recommend that. And the other honorable mention I want to give is How to Be a Normal Person by T.J. Klune, who also wrote The House in the Cerulean Sea. And this book, I laughed out loud and, like, tears running down my face, cried at multiple points each. It was just like
Wow.
so many emotions. It was really a very good book. I also read a bunch of hockey books inexplicably.
It's
I
Friedrich
read,
Bachman's fault.
yeah, I've read 6 hockey books.
Oh my god.
Listen, I don't know what's happened to me. Oh, sorry, I'm clicking on the wrong thing in Goodreads and trying to stall. Okay, and I am currently reading Hellbent by Leigh Bardugo, which is the sequel to Ninth House, which I loved, and I am so close to the end of this one, and it is just as good as the first one. And then just this morning, I started listening to The Sunbearer Trials by Aidan Thomas, which is a name you might recognize because of The Cemetery Boys, his much more famous book. Yeah, and it is about a bird kid.
Oh, classic. Okay. Keeping
Except
in theme.
he has wings and can talk to birds. It was like the first thing he said about himself was like, yeah, I can talk to birds. And I was like, Sophie.
Sophie's dream.
Sophie, you should read this book. So I'm not very far into that yet, but it seems like it's going to be good.
That's fun.
And then because this book comes out on January 31st, we might as well announce our February book club book of the month, which is Rosaline Palmer Takes the Cake by Alexis Hall of The Lady and the Duke fame.
Yes.
Or A Lady for a Duke, rather. I love his books, and I am so excited.
Yeah. Do you guys want to do like a bonus quick read off our top 10 2020 books?
Yeah, that's
2022?
fun.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do a quick read through of we all very normally make top 10 lists on Goodreads every year. So yeah, let's just read through them really quick. So in no particular order, I have Piranesi by Susanna Clarke, Half a Soul by Olivia Atwater, Ducks by Kate Beaton, which is a graphic novel, The City We Became by N.K. Jemisin.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, that's in my top 10.
Wow.
I liked it a lot. Winter's Orbit by Everina Maxwell.
Hell yeah.
The Last Days of the Dinosaurs by Riley Black, nonfiction. For the Wolf by Hannah Witten, kind of the whole series. City of Brass by S.A. Chakraborty, which is also the whole series. I stand by it. Black Sun by Rebecca Roanhorse, and The Library of the Unwritten by A.J. Hackworth.
Nice.
Those are mine. I had None of the Ninth on there, but I have a personal rule to not put sequels on my list.
Yeah.
Boo. I don't.
Same no.
I don't care if the book's good, I'm putting it there.
Nona would have made it if I didn't have this arbitrary, pointless rule.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to come in with some very different vibes because I'm pretty sure half of this list is rom-coms because that's just me. So first up, I have The Dead Romantics by Ashley Poston, and then A River Enchanted by Rebecca Ross, Love on the Brain by Ali Hazelwood, just so good. Then Babel by R.F. Kuang, which I've already mentioned. I did only give this 4.5 out of 5 stars because there was just like some plot issues with it, but I think it's just a very important book, and the concept of it and everything, it deserves a spot in my top 10, and I think more people need to read it. So there's that. And then I have Book Lovers by Emily Henry. This one's a wild card, but The Lighthouse Witches by C.J. Cook. This is like a thriller, historical fiction, magical realism, like, I can't even describe what genre this book is, but it's just very magical and full of suspense. It keeps you hooked. It's very good.
That's the one that had the pet basking shark, right?
Yeah, there's the friendly neighborhood basking shark Basil.
I remember that.
You just can't go wrong with that. Then next up is Hook, Line, and Sinker by Tessa Bailey. And then Fury Song, which is the third book in the Aurelian cycle, and I do not care because it deserves everything. It is so good. This is probably one of the best YA fantasy series out there now. Like, this is top tier.
And nobody knows it's there.
And nobody knows it's there. And like, I could argue that this should be also, like, it could be adult, and I think there's reasons
I would
it's
agree.
YA that I don't agree with. Maybe just the characters'
because
ages.
it's written by a woman
and
it's
written by a woman.
teenagers.
But this series is phenomenal.
It's so
I was sitting at my microscope crying listening to this book. Like,
yeah.
so sad.
I'm slowly turning our TikTok into a Fireborn Aurelian Cycle, like, stan account.
Yeah, as it should be. And then speaking of crying at our microscopes, I also cried reading or listening to Beach Read by Emily Henry. Emily Henry is the real MVP of 2022 for me. Just absolute writes the shit that gets to me. And then last on my list is Mexican Gothic by Silvia Moreno Garcia. I didn't give this one 5 stars because I never want to reread it, but like I only give 5 stars to a book I would reread. But I never want to experience the imagery in this book ever again. But I cannot emphasize just like how good this book was. It's horror, which is again why I never want to read it again. But it's just so original, and the way it was written was just so well done that like it's a top book for sure. But I'm never gonna read it again. Once is enough.
That's so wild because I loved. She's also the one who writes Gods of Jade and Shadow.
She is, yes.
Right?
Yep.
Yeah, which is like, I've read that one, but not Mexican Gothic.
Yeah.
And I was like, Gods of Jade and Shadow was like a hair on the dark side, but just kind of like heartfelt and kind of sweet. And it was like, man, I cannot imagine.
Uh-oh.
The range.
I can't say much
For an
without
author.
spoiling it, but like,
Yeah, that's okay.
there's just a lot of vomiting of black substances. And
Oh God.
that's all you need to know.
Great.
Yeah. I'm done. Hannah?
Me. For my top 10, I'm looking at it right now, and I feel vaguely embarrassed by like how on brand it is.
Oh, I was gonna say we don't have to share, but you should.
Oh no, it's just it's like every one of these books will be like, yeah.
Yeah.
So mine are in order chronologically from when I read them. But I have the Vagina Bible by Jennifer Gunter, which is just like a how-to manual for literally anything you might want to do with a vagina. That made it sound way sexier than it is. It's mostly like caretaking stuff. But it was really good. I feel like anybody who has a vagina or wants to do sexual things with a vagina should probably read that, which is most people. Anyway, now that I've talked about, most people either have vaginas or are interested in people with vaginas.
Yes, okay, got it.
Yes. It's basically, if you have anything to do with a vagina in any capacity, you should read this book.
Got it.
And now that I've said the word vagina way too many times, I'm going to move on to Black Sun by Rebecca Roanhorse and Winter's Orbit by Everina Maxwell, which Sophie mentioned. I have Anxious People by Frederick Bachman, A Psalm for the Wild Built by Becky Chambers, which is just like so nice.
I need to read that one.
Yeah, you do. Oh my gosh, I want to reread it shortly. I have Brotherhood by Mike Chen, which is a Star Wars novel about Obi-Wan and Anakin, obviously. And then both Boyfriend Material and A Lady for a Duke by Alexis Hull. The Winners by Frederick Bachman, but that's like encompassing the whole Bear Town series. And Invisible Woman by Caroline Criado Perez, which I just mentioned a minute ago.
What a list.
So,
a good list.
I think we all did a great job with our lists
this
year.
I think so.
All good books. If you need a book to read, any one of those is probably a good choice.
We just gave
Probably
you lots.
Yeah.
Yep.
Personally, I think my list is the best, but you know.
I mean, my list is clearly better.
I personally just think everybody needs to read Fireborn by Rosaria Munda and then the whole series, and I'll be happy.
The second one I think is my favorite, which is a wild thing to say about a series, but there you
go. Very much enjoyed the second one as well, but if a middle book is written well, I will...
I was gonna say...
The Court of Mist and Fury is the second book. That's like my favorite book ever.
The Darker Shade of Magic second book. Also
I love it. Yeah.
Stan's favorite.
Yeah. No, there's just something about a second book when it's done well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just captures me because you already know the world, you already know these characters, and if the author can pull it off and like bring together this just story you weren't expecting, like phenomenal.
And it can make the first book better.
It can.
Because you're like, wow.
Yeah.
The second book was amazing.
But it can also be done very poorly and just be a filler book. And those ones are bad. But like
those ones are bad.
Middle books done right, chef's kiss. Loves it.
So good.
Yeah.
All that aside, if you liked this chapter of Midlight Crisis, consider rating and reviewing us on Spotify or your podcatcher of choice. You can talk to us and find fun-related content on social media. We are at Midlight Pod on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and Tumblr, and all chapters of the show thus far are available on our website, midlightpod.podbean.com, and on YouTube.
And today, for when one of us gets too excited and won't let anyone else speak in the podcast. That motor mouth of hers could have turned Mother Teresa into an axe murderer.